Welcome, boys and girls. What I'm going to show you here from lesson 1.2 is how you can read, write, and represent whole numbers. Now, what we're going to take a look at is we're going to take a look at a place value chart. But this place value chart may look a little different from the place value charts that you've seen in the past. What we have here is we have a place value chart that's broken up into different periods. There's three periods that you're going to be learning about here. We have the millions period, the thousands period, and the ones period. And in each one of those periods, you'll notice that there is a ones, a tens, and a hundreds. The thousands period has the ones, the tens, and the hundreds, as well as the millions. Right? And what these periods show is the ones place in the ones period represents the ones place. So we have ones, and the tens in the ones period represents 10 wholes, and then the hundreds in the ones period represents the 100 wholes. All right, and now moving on to the thousands period, we have our 1,000s, our 10,000s place, and our 100,000s place. And now in our millions period, we have the 1 millions, the 10 millions, and the 100 millions. Let's take a look at a sample number. This number here has a 1 in the 1 millions place, a 3 in the 100,000s place, a 9 in the 10,000s place, a 2 in the 1,000s place, and nothing in the ones period. This number would be read as 1,392,000, and that's it. 1,392,000. There are no ones. There's nothing in the ones period. Therefore, it's read 1,392,000. Notice that these commas here are used to separate these periods. Like I told you in class, what you do is when you're trying to read a number, is you read the whole number, and then when you get to the comma, you say the period that number was in. So, example, here's the 1 million. You read 392. The period that it's in is thousands, and again, there's nothing in these this one's period here. All right. Now, the next part I'm going to show you is how to take the numbers in each one of these places and write it in expanded form. Notice what we have here. This expanded form may look a little different from anything that you've done in the past. Normally, in expanded form, you may have written down the value of each place and added them together. Here we work back a step behind. So we have a 1 in the 1 millions place. Alright, so what we do to show this whole number in expanded form is we take the 1, which represents the number in the ones period, and we multiply it by the period that it's in, which is the 1 millions. Alright, here we have the 3, and it's in the 100,000s position, so we multiply the 3 times the 100,000. And we have the 9 in the 10,000s place, so we take our 9, multiply it by 10,000. Our 2 is in the 1,000s place, so we take our 2, multiply it by 1,000. And here we have 0 in the hundreds place, 0 in the tens place, and 0 in the ones place. When we write that in expanded form, you don't need to include that if there's nothing in one of those places, but we'll get to an example like that. Alright, and here, representing on the last row, is the value of each position. This is the 1 in the millions place, 1 millions place, therefore it's 1 million. A 3 in the 100,000s place, which represents 3,000. A 9 in the 10,000s place, which would show you 90,000. A 2 in the 1,000s place, the value would be 2,000, and then I got nothing here. Let's take a look at some examples. Alright, so here we have an example. We have the number 59,103. Alright, and what we want to find out is, we want to find out the value of the red number. Alright, we know our places. We know this is our ones place, we have our tens place, and our hundreds place, which is all in that ones period. And then here our next period is the thousands period. So this is the 1,000s place, and this is our 10,000s place. So this 9 is located in the 1,000s place. So we would ask ourselves, well, if the 9 is located in the 1,000s, this means that there are 9 of those 1,000s. If I had 9 1,000s, I know the value of 9 1,000s would be 9,000. Now what about expanded form? Alright, what we have to do with expanded form is basically what we did with that 9 is we had to find the value of each one of these numbers that are in each one of these places, and we have to add them together to find that value of 59,103. Alright, so what we normally do when we find expanded form is we start with our largest place. Alright, what we do is we start by writing out the number that's in that largest place, and the number is 5. And we take that 5, and what we're going to do is we're going to multiply it by the place that it's in. Alright, and we said before that this 5 is in the thousands period, and it's in the 10,000s place. So in order to figure the value of that 5 is we take that 5 and we multiply it by 10,000. And then what we need to do is we need to take a look at the next number, and we need to see what number's in that place, and we know that's a 9. And the place that it's in is the 1,000s place. So what we do in order to find out that value is we take the 9 and we multiply it by 1,000. We move on to our next place, and we notice that there's a 1 in that next place, and the place that it's in is the hundreds place. Alright, so I take that 1 and I multiply it by 100 to figure out its value. And I need to add our next place, which would be the 3. Remember, there's nothing, there's a 0 in the tens place. We don't need to include that when we're writing expanded form. Right, but what we would include here is our 3, and the place that it's in is the ones, therefore we take our 3 times our 1. Alright, and we've now written 59,103 in expanded form. So now for our next example, before I have you try some on your own, is we have the number 213,810. Again, the number 213 is in the thousands period, 810 is in the ones period. That means we have 213 thousands and 810 ones. Alright, what I notice here is that I want to find out the value of the red number, which is the 8. Alright, in order to figure out that value, I have to find out the place that it's in. I know it's in the ones period, and if this is the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. Therefore, this 8 is in the hundreds place, and what it's showing is we have 8 100s. If I had 8 100s, I know that the value of that would be 800. Now, next thing I want to do is I want to write this number in expanded form. Like we did with the last, we start with our largest place, and we start by writing down the number that's in that place, and we know that's a 2 in that place. And what we need to do is we need to take that 2 and we need to multiply it by the place that it's in. This 2 is in the thousands period, it's in the hundreds, in the hundreds place in the thousands period, so it's the 100,000s place. So I would take that 2 and I would multiply it by 100,000. Next thing I need to do is I move on to my next place. I have to add our next place, and I see that there's a 1 in that next place, and I multiply it by the place that it's in. And that 1 is in the 10,000s place, so I take it and I multiply it by 10,000. I move on to my next place. I write down there's a 3 in the next place. The place that that 3 is in is the thousands, the 1,000s place. So I take the 3 and I multiply it by 1,000. Moving on, I add that 8 times the place that it's in, which we said before was the hundreds place, and I add my next place, which is the 1, and that's in the tens place, so I multiply that 1 times the 10. If I went and solved this problem, I multiplied the 2 times the 100,000, I would get 200,000. The 1 times the 10,000 gets me 10,000. 3 times the 1,000 gets me 3,000. 8 times the 100 gets me 800. 1 times the 10 gets me 10. If I took these and I added all of these together in products, I would get my answer, 213,810. And that's how you find the value, and this is how you write it in expanded form. What I want you to do is I want you to press the pause button, and I want you to try one on your own. Once you've completed it, press the play button to see if you solved it correctly. Okay, so here we have our example, 23,304,092. Alright, we notice that the 3 is in red, and what we need to figure out is the place that that 3 is in. I know this is our ones period, this is our thousands period, and this is our millions period, and it follows the same pattern within each period. It's the ones, tens, and hundreds within each period. So this is the ones, the tens, and the hundreds, thousands. And we start here, we notice that this is the 1, and it's the millions period, so it's the 1 millions place. And I notice that there's 3 1 millions in that place, therefore that would be our value of 3 million. That's what you should have had written down. Now for our next part, where we have to find the expanded form, we start with our largest place, which is the 2 that's in the 10 millions place. So you should have written 2 times 10 million. And then we move on from there, and we should be adding the 3 times the place that it's in, and the 3 is in the 1 millions place, so we take our 3 and we multiply that by 1 million. And we add to that the next number, which is 3, and the 3 is in the 100,000s place. Moving on, we notice that there's nothing in the 10,000s place, so we don't need to write down 0 times 10,000. We move on to our next number, which is a 4, and we multiply it by the place that it's in, which is in the 1,000 place. We add the next number, which is 9, times the place that it's in, which is in the tens place. This 9 is in the tens place. And we finish off our expanded form by adding our 2 times the ones place that it's in. And that's how you read, that's how you write, and that's how you represent whole numbers. Hope this clears this up for you. If you have any questions, let me know.